you might have seen that recently our Leah dress pattern has had a little bit of love. We've re-released Leah and she's now out in our extended size range, so our sizes 6 to 30, and we've also zhuzhed up the instruction booklet and we've added pockets.
Yes.
Most importantly, you love pockets. And because we've been in a bit of a Leah session in the office for the last sort of few months, we've all made Leahs and we all thought we would show you what we did in terms of fitting, in terms of toiles, just to see if it helped you, if our process helped you out a little bit with any fitting queries you might have as well. And just because we like chatting about sewing and fitting. And that might be a reason why we're all dressed
Strangely.
slightly weirdly and differently.
This is not the new pattern.
She now comes optional, sleeve 1 or sleeve 2.
Who needs buttons? Just use a pin.
Shall I start?
Yeah.
So I did 112.
So have you made the Leah before?
I have not made Leah before.
Okay.
I quite like making toils. I'm a bit more into making toils nowadays because I do think it's worth it.
Yeah.
I do think it's worth it.
It is.
So I started off with what I do with pretty much all Sew Over It patterns, which is 16 at the shoulders, 18 everywhere else, and a full bust adjustment.
Okay.
And that's what got me this, so maybe I'll zoom in so you can see there's definitely some changes were needed, but overall I think the shoulders were a little bit wide for me. I could take a little bit more off there. The dart was a little bit too high, so the dart's ending here, where really the dart should end about here, just below the sort of fullest part of your bust. But then also I have, if I take this pin out, I've got excess fabric kind of here that I needed to deal with, and I think that isn't necessarily a thing with the pattern. It's something I find very often if I've done a full bust adjustment. I guess if you've got a pattern that comes up all the way up here and you do a full bust adjustment, this bit hasn't changed, so that kind of looks after this area for you, if that makes sense. But this is just open, so I've added in room here, and a bit of that will have come up into this area of pattern.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's quite often that you might end up with a bit more fabric here, or if you have a fuller bust, then the ratio between your bust and this area is going to be bigger.
Yeah.
So you might always find that you have a little bit extra there.
length.
So changes that I made were to bring the shoulders in a little bit. I always have to do that. That's mostly why I do 12s, because I hate things that are too big on my shoulders.
I see like that.
Yeah. Just in a little bit. So I think I took another centimetre off, because I think we all have our body things. I always feel like my shoulders are really wide, even though I know from sewing that actually they're like 3 sizes narrower. But I like things to be slim on my shoulders.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just for fit, I've like things in there. Lowered the dart, the tip of the dart, to a couple of centimetres below. And then to fix this little fitting thing I've got going on here, I just split the pattern down to the dart and then down through the dart, pivoted this so it overlapped and closed it up, and it just meant that this dart was a bit bigger. And it's just a really easy way of tightening up that, but without raising it,
And
because I
that's
like where this point is.
Waist dart, right? That we're
Waist
talking
dart,
not bust dart. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's so
'Cause
clever.
then it kind of tightens this area up, but it doesn't raise where that point
Where the
is.
meat up.
Because that's a different thing, isn't it? Having a higher
Exactly.
That
meat
is a
point,
different thing.
and having gaping here. That's two separate issues, right?
Exactly that.
I feel
Exactly
like
that.
that's going to stab you in 3 seconds.
Other things. I think I was just trying this on actually, and I think I could remove a sliver from the back there. I noticed on the one I'd made, it felt a little bit long. If you look, the balance is longer at the back.
There. But across the shoulders, it's perfect.
This is all nerves.
Maybe
I
just
think
it's so small though.
maybe take a centimetre off the bottom so it's flat all the way around. But otherwise, you will see our revealed dresses later.
We'll change
I'm
it
not
to the
complaining
final.
about that. Yeah.
This is great.
But yeah.
Also, can I just say that it looks really cute as a top?
Yeah, I know. Well, it's my next project.
Give us some ideas.
Yes, it's to make a Leah blouse.
Leah blouse.
Yeah,
Really
very,
pretty.
very
cute.
Yeah,
So
so I'll
cute.
share some things when I get going on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty painless.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So that's nice. You started with your usual adjustments and then still made a twirl and still found a few things that are more specific to this pattern, I guess.
Yes.
That's the difference, right? So you might know your go-tos, but
Yeah.
different necklines, different dart positions will mean that something will
Something.
still be need tweaking, basically.
100%.
Yeah.
And also the fabric that I was going to use, or that I have used for my dress that I've made, was quite pricey. And I really liked it, so I really didn't want to mess it up.
Yeah.
So that if it was a cheaper fabric, I might
You
go
might have
straight
just
in.
gone.
Yeah.
But with a really nice fabric, it's worth it.
Very,
Yeah.
very nice example that we should all follow. You want to go next?
Yeah.
Yes. So, well, before I even made a twirl, I seized the opportunity to try on this sample, which we have in the office.
Lovely sample.
Get ahead. And I'm pretty sure this is a straight size 10.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and I thought it would be a bit big, and it kind of is, but it was still quite a useful starting place because I could see what changes I need to make. So I can see that the bodice is too big. Fine, just size it down. But what I really wanted to know was whether it was going to be too big all over, or whether I needed to make some sort of bust adjustment, because sometimes I do need to make a small bust adjustment. But what I decided with this is that it was pretty evenly all over, one size too big.
Yeah. Nice.
So that's pretty easy.
That's
Yeah, I was
right.
like, right, okay, just take it down to an 8. But I felt like the waist was actually sitting pretty nicely. It's not really too big at the waist. So I decided what to do was just size 8 bodice, graded to a 10 at the waist.
Ah.
Nice.
And then I felt like I wanted to raise the neckline a little bit. I felt like that was sitting a bit too low, so I took that up by 1.5 centimetres.
Oh.
I've done another twirl. We'll see in a second, because I'm making quite a lot of changes. And then I also decided to raise the waistline by 2.5 centimetres, because I felt like that was just sitting a bit low. And you can't see here, but it was also overall a bit too long on me.
Oh, yeah.
These are all quite normal things for me.
Yeah.
None of these
Yeah,
were
fair,
huge
fair.
shocks, particularly because I was trying this on a little bit big. But it was just useful to like get a guide, I suppose.
Yeah.
Then I made my twirl, because I made quite a lot of changes. I didn't want to dive straight into
Fair.
the final fabric, as you were saying. So I'll go and show you
Let's
that.
see
And so I'm back with my twirl, and as you can see, I felt that it was fitting much better across the bodice. I was happy with that, but it was also at a nice place on my waist. I felt like there was just a tiny
that's
bit of,
much better.
I don't want it tight, but just a tiny bit of room. And I was happier with, what are we calling this?
Neckline?
The neckline,
Placement
yeah,
of
the
the
neckline. What is this? I was happy with the neckline, but I actually decided to take it up a little bit further still.
Okay.
In hindsight, I feel like I prefer this to what I've done, but I mean, it's totally fine either way, it doesn't really make a difference. But I feel like this is more where it's supposed to be on the dress.
Yes.
And what I've done on the final one is I've raised it, which gives it like a slightly different look.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is still nice, but like this is more the original style of the dress.
Okay.
So I was pretty much happy with all the changes that I made, except I noticed in this fabric that the shoulder seam was way off there. So like, so it's all the way down
That's
there,
true.
and really it should be more like here, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So I decided that I would raise that by 2.5 centimetres,
Nice.
and it was at this point that I decided I was going to make a mini version.
Oh,
Blue.
yes.
So I had started working out how much I wanted to take off the bottom, and then I decided actually I want it shorter, I want it above the knee. So you'll see that on my finished one. But I felt confident enough, these were few enough changes that I could just launch straight into the... Yeah, I
Into
could have
the
made
final
another twirl,
fabric,
but
yeah.
I felt like...
Brilliant.
So yeah, that's me.
I love that. Very, very good. And the one sleeve on, one sleeve off
Yeah.
What do you think of this
is a
as a
very
look?
good trend.
Yeah. And we both went for the right sleeve
Yeah,
as well, which
that's
is
it.
interesting.
That is interesting.
Right-handed, maybe? I don't know.
I didn't think about it particularly.
No.
And yeah, let's move on to the
Okay.
one sleeve on, one sleeve off.
So I went with my measurements and then cut out a 20 in this, and I knew it was going to be a little bit tight. So I actually, you see, I have it's just pinned here, and then I did put a sleeve on as well, so I could see how it sort of hanged on me, and I've got gaping here. So that's the first thing.
Just
So is
pulling
this
a little
a
bit.
straight?
Yeah.
Is this a straight size 20?
Yeah.
No adjustments.
No
Okay.
adjustments, yeah. And I usually do an FBA, so I kind of knew that this might happen.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to get a feel for this pattern because I've not made it before, and I didn't know. I hadn't made a dress with just the one dart before.
Yeah.
There's no bust dart on here, it's
That's
more of
true.
like a shirt dress.
Yeah, so
style,
I
isn't
didn't know how it was gonna fit. So that's why I started with that. And yeah, you can see it because it's busy pattern. It's hard, but you can see. To me, that's gaping there, and I didn't like it. So I knew I was going to then have to do an FBA, and then also it is a little bit low here for me. So I knew that I'd have to, I was thinking, yeah, and it's gaping there. So went back and did a full bust adjustment to give myself much more room here. And then I did take a pinch out for here because it's gaping open. I just took a pinch like that, which then actually made it sit a little bit higher there, which I was happy with.
Or where you wanted it.
So I then did another 12, which I could just, there's the pins here.
Very
And
clever.
so this is just some fabric that I had, the black and white one, and then this is actually the fabric that I've made my dress in.
That's a really good idea to make a
Oh.
top
Yeah.
in the final fabric.
Yeah.
Because
I-
fabric can change it so much.
Yeah, and I knew I had plenty of fabric because I'd had extra.
Nice.
So then I just quickly
Oh, that's such
mopped
a good
this
idea.
up. And as you can see, I was straight away much more happy because even though it's not fully finished there, you can see I've got loads more room
Yeah.
here.
Oh, I love that.
That's
It's
such-
lovely.
And also, I could tell that it was going to sit a little bit higher. Everything's
Yeah.
It's nice and flat
yeah,
across here.
flat here, so that I
Yeah.
was really happy with that. But, which you can now see, I've then got this. Hello! This little thing. I've pinned it the other side here, so you can see that's what I wanted to get out. Which is what Rosie was talking about. From your experience of making dresses, you know already
That is
that is what will happen. You
my
put
problem
more,
spot.
you put more in here, and you actually get more here as well.
It's, I guess the point of FBAs is to try and reduce that, but you like when you do an FBA, you
Yeah.
split up here and you split up here. This opens, so you do get more there because you
Yeah.
do need it here,
Yeah.
but you don't
Don't need it
necessarily
there.
need it there.
And I think previously when I've made tops, I didn't consider this because usually there would be a dart here. So when I'm doing my FBA, it kind of automatically
Yeah.
goes into there a bit more, and so yeah, it was quite dramatic. So I was like, oh, phew, glad I did a second
Well
trial
done.
because yeah, that would have been a bit harder. So then yeah, I then did my my third technical 12, which actually ended up being my final
Oh,
thing. So
brilliant.
yeah, so I
Nice.
made the adjustments, cut out that bodice, and then sort of just tacked it quick together, put it on, and I was like, great. And then I carried on making the dress.
That's fair, but that's such a good way to do it as well.
Very
To sort of like
good.
fit as you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there some if you've not got to like recut anything,
Yeah.
then you can just make changes as you go and
you
tweak
go.
little things
That is
and make
very much my
Yeah.
style.
Yeah.
Because I knew I was pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is amazing. Like the difference
Yes.
of
Yeah.
how that lies flat beautifully
Yeah.
on you.
So
Amazing.
then I was pretty happy.
Very good.
So
But also, did you have enough fabric that had that third 12 gone awry?
Yes,
Could
I
you
did.
have?
Yeah.
That's nice to have that safety.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
yeah, so when I chose this fabric, I'd got it. It was really quite a cheap fabric as well. And so I bought quite a lot of it because then I knew
Brilliant.
I was going to be making 12s, and
Yeah.
I knew that I could feel safe if it sort of didn't go right. I
Yeah.
guess.
So clever. It just
Cut out
gives
the
you like a
piece.
safety net.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
yeah,
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of cheating because I made this Leah, I think 3 years ago.
Wow.
It was one of the first favorite things I made from when I started working here. So I was very proud of it and
Didn't know that.
excited about it. Yeah.
Like the
And,
first time you can get the pounds for free.
And then
Yeah.
we're gonna say that, yeah.
It's an exciting day, isn't it?
It's like very good. Okay. And so I made it 3 years ago. I still wear it all the time.
Yeah.
It's really lovely.
I just made a straight size 10 for this, and as I say, I've worn it loads, but because we were talking about Leah and like doing it, you know, having a go at making it all of us, I
Right.
thought I'm gonna make another one because I clearly love it.
Did you not maybe get a little bit jealous?
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a new Leah! Absolutely. FOMO. 100% FOMO. But I thought, you know, I obviously love the dress because
Yeah.
it's lasted a long time. The sad thing is that my fabric is quite cheap and it is kind of wearing.
that's not great.
So actually
It's so nice.
it was the time to make a new Leah, basically. It's perfect. I will wear this until it's literally in pieces because I love it. But so I thought, well, they're all doing 12s and being good and I didn't do anything. I'm going to consider this my wearable 12.
Yeah.
3-year wearable 12 and say that's pretty successful.
Good value for money there.
Very good value for money. And I thought, what would I like to have a look at? Because I'm pretty happy with the fit, but it is a little bit too low on me.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind, That's really not something that makes me particularly uncomfortable.
Yeah.
If that's okay to say.
Yeah.
But I thought I could do with a little bit of a higher version. And then I did add pockets when Leah didn't have pockets back in the day, but they never ever sat flat because I did them in like the old way of doing
when
the
you do that.
pre-sew over it way, when you put one pocket on the front, one pocket on the back, and then sew them together.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
when I started looking at how we do things here, it's such a better method,
It's nice.
and
yeah.
it's so much nicer, and that's really changed in my next version. The pockets are just so much flatter, and I'm very, very happy with that. But so I decided to address this, and what I did is something that I've done many times. It's a very quick fix. I've done it on the pippa dress. Sorry, where did I come from? From my pocket, which I've now included in the pattern.
So you can all carry paper pieces in you.
But yeah, it's a simple adjustment that I know works for me on a V-neck.
Yeah.
I've done it on both my pippa dresses, for example, and it's one that I usually do retrospectively. So as I'm making it, I try it on and I'm like, oh, let me raise that because the neckline is a little bit drooping. And this time I decided to change it on the pattern first. So what I did is just at the inner shoulder, I guess. Neckline edge, yeah. I took off quite a lot actually. I usually take off about 2 centimeters. With this one, I decided to take maybe a little bit too much. Maybe like you, I went too far the other way, but I still like it.
It's tempting, isn't it?
It's
Like,
tempting to
go
do.
too much. Yeah.
But I took an inch off at the neckline edge and then tapered it to the normal kind of shape at the outer edge, and then just sewed it. That's it. So I cut the pattern slightly different, only on the front, not on the back.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
And yeah, I'm quite pretty happy with how it turned out. It's a small adjustment that I think has made a good difference. I also think that when I made this, this fabric has grown quite a lot.
Yes.
So I don't think that when I first made it, the opening was that low.
Yeah.
And I think now in the instructions we suggest using maybe some seam tape
Yes.
interfacing,
Yeah.
right? And I think
To keep
that
this
yeah,
nice
to
and
keep
stable.
this stable, because I do think it's grown. It's not just that that's the fit on me. I think it kind of drooped a little bit. But yes. So those are the technicalities.
Yeah.
Shall we have a look at the
dress?
Yeah.
the reveal, which you've already seen in our launch video for Leah, which we'll link below. But you know, we get now that you know how we got there.
Yeah.
It's much
For
more
the drama.
It's for the drama. And here we are in our final Leah dresses. We all have a Leah. It's one of those days when we're all in the same pattern. But they're so different.
Yeah.
They are.
I just love all the fabrics that we've chosen. I really like the variety.
Yeah.
I feel like the ditzy floral really lends
That's
itself.
us, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ditzy
Team
floral.
ditzy
Yeah.
floral. And I'm not particularly a ditzy
No.
floral
No.
person, but I think for this dress, do you know what? Because
Yeah,
it's a
it's
1940s design, but
Yeah.
it's so also very, very 90s.
It is.
Yeah.
If you watch Friends,
For
Monica's
sure.
wearing this dress like all
Yeah.
the time. And that's exactly the kind of Leah I wanted to make.
Yeah,
So,
the
Yours,
90s.
I would say, is more 40s maybe.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Yeah.
beautiful. Very vintagey. That's worked a treat. Should
Yeah, look at
your
me.
boots.
Oh,
yeah.
It's so much better.
It's
Like,
very
yeah,
good.
right here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's gone. Really, really
better.
nice.
It's in here. It's nice. That's good height for me. I think I'm happy with it. Yeah.
I love it. And Rosie, yeah, that's sitting super
Sitting
flat.
really nice
Yeah.
and flat.
And yours is the most modern, I would say.
Yeah.
Your fabric is like
Yeah.
contemporary,
Super
cool
cool.
print.
Yeah.
So Leah lends itself to all the decades. But yeah, are you happy with the
Really
final
happy.
changes?
I think that's the only thing is what I was saying before is I think the back dips a tiny bit, if you guys can see.
Yeah.
It's like
But minuscule, that's
minuscule.
literally,
Yeah.
I think I will shave a bit off the pattern piece for the next time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was something with mine that so when I did my first one, I did put a sleeve on, but the second, you notice I didn't.
Yeah.
And I wish I had
Oh.
because when I then put the sleeves on here,
Change.
they were here. So I've done a quick fix.
Oh, nice.
Where I've hand sewn just a little slither. I don't know if you can see. There it is. I've hand sewn just a little slither just to bring that up to where I want it to sit. So what I'll do now is I'll go back to my really cut up pan piece, and I'm just gonna note
Shave
it
off
and
that
shape
bit.
it off now. So if I ever pick up the
But
Leah
that looks
pattern, it will never be
brilliant.
done.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm happy with it because you can't see.
No,
and
not at
it's
all.
sitting where I want it to.
It's a great
Really
fix.
good.
But yeah.
Beautiful fit.
Thanks.
And the three of us have made the kind of original length, whereas
Yeah.
Jemima.
Yes, I took
So cute.
15 centimetres off the
1.5.
1.5, yeah, 1.5. So it sits just above my knee. I'm
Yeah.
actually pretty happy with the length. Yeah.
It's so
And
perfect.
Yeah, just generally, I feel like the shoulders are in a better place there. The neckline, as I said, possibly a centimetre too high now, but totally fine.
I feel
Yeah.
similar, so
Yeah.
it's completely like I'm happy because there's more coverage,
Yeah.
but I feel like a tiny bit lower. So maybe instead of an inch, I should have taken maybe just my usual 2 centimeters. I don't know why I went so far.
Yeah, but you know what?
No.
Like, because it's viscose, it may drop anyway.
It may drop again. Yeah.
So,
Yes, and no, but you're right. It's true. It might.
Yeah.
And then my pockets are like. Oh,
Yeah.
I wish I put
So
pockets.
flat.
I didn't put pockets in.
I
I
didn't.
never do.
Do you do pockets?
No, this one was, I have to say this one was speed sewn. Because I had to,
Because you're wearing it.
oh, in the class.
for
Yeah.
Leah, which is a full workshop.
It is, yeah, so yeah, for this version, because there was a deadline, I missed the pockets, but for the one I made in the class, I put
Yeah,
pockets
you did.
in.
Okay.
And
That's
it's
really
revolutionised it.
Yeah.
Amazing. So you now have 2 new Leahs.
Two new
Amazing.
Leahs.
Yeah.
And very different as well.
Very,
the one
very
in the
different.
class is very jazzy. I really
It
like
is, it is. Oh, I mean, I have got it.
Do you?
Yeah.
Show it, show
Yeah.
it, show the people. And the class, so it's one of our Stitch School workshops,
Yeah.
which means that we take you from, well, Rosie takes you from beginning to end of
Every
the
single
whole
step. Fabric you
process.
need,
Yeah.
the
Like
pattern,
an
adjustments.
in-depth sew along.
Oh,
But
look at
yeah,
that
you even
fabric.
talk about adjustments, don't you? Yeah,
We do,
how cool
yes.
is that?
So this suddenly is like an elevated Leah. Like,
That's
you could wear.
This is like wedding guest.
This is wedding
Yes,
territory.
absolutely.
Fancy
With
event.
heels.
Yeah.
And
With
we're all
pockets.
wearing ours with trainers, which I think is such a cute look. And you've got Birkenstocks.
The
Birkenstocks.
Very comfy, but put some heels.
Yeah.
Like a little bow bag, matching bow bag, maybe.
matching bow bag.
And you can go to a wedding.
Perfect.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
very pleased.
But yeah, that's interesting. So to save time, don't put the pockets in. But aren't you glad when you
Practicality,
do?
I was missing on the walk to work this morning.
There you
Not having
go.
pockets for my phone or my
Your phone, the
headphones.
keys.
Yes.
Too many things. But yes, so that was our personal Leah journey.
I hope that's
hope you've
useful to
enjoyed
see,
it.
like,
Yeah.
you know, everyone, it's just so normal to make adjustments.
It's
Everyone makes
completely normal.
adjustments.
Yeah.
And I think you can see that it's worth taking the time to
Mm.
do them, or at least to think about it, even if you do them as you sew and you
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
quick little adjustments. Just keep on trying the clothes as you make them. I think
Yeah.
that is the best
Exactly.
advice, because you can keep checking, and things, as you say, once you put the sleeve in, maybe
It changes
the
it, yeah.
thing.
Mm.
Once you put the facing on, it might change the thing.
Yeah.
So I think,
Yeah.
it's worth thinking about it. And Leah, I can completely attest that it will serve you well for years.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I have not stopped wearing mine, and
It's,
this one
it's
is
kind
going
of
to be even more.
timeless style.
It is
isn't
timeless
It's
thing.
not a trend. It's like
Not
you
a
see
trend
it
at
every
all.
year. This
Yeah.
kind of shirt,
This
dress.
kind of tea dress,
Yeah.
like
Dress,
very.
yeah.
It's the fit is very nicely loose. I would
It
say.
is,
It's not
yeah.
super
No.
tight.
It
Like
just skims.
It
and
looks
feels
nice, but it
cute.
skims, exactly. You don't feel constricted at all.
Yeah.
And she's the great one. So go and have a look at the pattern, go and have a look at the workshop, which includes the PDF pattern.
Yes.
Right? And let us know if you're going to make a Leah dress, and tag your Leah dresses with the hashtag SOI Leah dress, because we love to see them. And give this video a thumbs up, and we'll see you again very soon. Bye.